Oh, hey everybody, Paul with you here. It's around 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was able to garbage pick a walking stick, convert it into a walking stick, which I have done. Matter of fact, I'll do it with my other hand. As you know, I have a bad left hand, and I don't like all that movement and banging on my left hand. So, with this thing, I will walk for 2 hours today. I will treat myself to a cup of coffee, and real coffee, because I have instant, but I just never drink it anymore. It's too hot. When it gets hot, I don't crave coffee. Now, we've had a person, and this always happens, by the way. Believe it or not, yours truly had a radio show, and it was very, very small. It was located in Belgrade, Florida. I had gone to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, and which is why I speak so well. And although it was a short affair, it was only like a month, and it was expensive. My parents paid for it, of course. They were alive then. They allowed you to go and spend some time in the recording studios and so forth. So I could have been a jock, but my voice wasn't really good at all. My voice still isn't good. So what happened was they let me co-host a show from Belgrade, of all places, Belgrade. And at that time, in 1986... I'm sorry, and yeah, it was around 1985. At that time, they had bad AIDS in Belgrade. At that time, there wasn't even any good roads. I remember when I used to go up to Ocala at that time, it wasn't uncommon to see houses built on dirt. That right on the main road. I remember that to this day. Anyways, I wound up doing this co-show for 2 weekends, and it was kind of cool. It was an overnight gig, you know, and I was just a kid then. I was only like, geez, I might have been 20 years old, 21, whatever it was, 23. And believe it or not, we had one older woman who called in asking for me. And I don't even remember what we were doing. I don't think it was current topics or anything like that, politics or anything. But it was pretty funny because, like, whenever you put yourself out there are people they'll catch what you're doing, you know? So I've only got 15 people, but don't forget, I had like 250 people on my last channel. So, anyways, Rudy wanted to send me a gift, so I encourage all of you to do the same. Ow, on my bad hand too. Ouch, that was no fun. All right, so I encourage all of you to do the same. And my address, if you'd like to send me anything, if it's ticking, I won't open it. But if it's just something sent out of the nicety of your heart, I will certainly open it up. And what we'll do is we'll open it up on my show so everybody can see. How's that sound? Okay? So Rudy wants to send me something from him and his friends. Go ahead and send it to Paul Pachula, Pachula, and my address is 7958 Pines Boulevard, Pembroke Pines, Florida, Pembroke, Pines, Pines, Unit 486, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33024. That will be the official fan mail club for this channel of mine. And anyways, I'm out here getting a little bit of walking time in. I kind of slept in late today, and I figured I would come out here and have a talk. At the request of one of my subs, they told me to watch. Geez, you know what? I'm going to have to go this way because the sun is too much. I have to go back in. The sun is hot now down here in Florida, and it ain't easy to hump it, I'll tell you. I don't have too much more time for walking because it ain't happening. Not in this 90-degree sun, I'll tell you. Anyways, I did happen to watch The Matrix. And The Matrix was an interesting movie. It was, geez, I feel like Gene Shepard here. You know how, like, Gene Shepard said that he mastered his book report? Like, he would never he would never read the book, and then he had to do a review on it. And he talked about many book reviewists that make a handsome living by not reading the book, but talking about it and gathering certain information. Well, I did watch it, and it's an interesting. I'll tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of, in some ways, it reminded me of the 300 Spartans, because the producers had an interesting idea, and that is, we were all living in a computer program, and there was a black guy, I think it was Fishburne, Lawrence Fishburne, and he had figured this out, and he was going to try to stop this. And they had these, it was an all-star cast. The movie has turned into a legend, and more than just a movie. They have, you're essentially living in a program that's put forth by these powers that be. And the movie, I guess it couldn't really get totally into the workings of it, because how could you? It just wasn't reality. But it was a massive all-star cast. Keanu Reeves was said to have worked for 6 months in karate in order to be able to do. He also did, I think, the majority of his stunts. I guess a couple of the other actors also did some of their own stunts. And the action in the movie is second to none. So you've got a very sharp idea, along with a $60 million budget, which was considered low at the time because there were no B and C listers here. These were all pretty much A-listers on the actors. And an interesting time. The only thing that I kind of draw a relationship to was the 300 Spartans. But I think it was just called the 300. I saw the original in the 60s. I didn't see it when I was in the 60s, but I saw it about 10 years ago, and it was a great movie, and it was mostly intellectual. They did not get into the dispatching of the enemy, and the new one, was overacted, and "Yo, come get me!" like that kind of stuff. It just overacted and overglorified violence, essentially, for that new one. I think it was called 300. And sorry, folks, I have to keep changing my arm. I am tiring. And what they did was, and I don't know if they did it for a cost-cutting measure or whether they did it in order to glorify the violence. But even though they had violence, with the exception of a little bit of blood splatter, all they did was dispatch immortal after immortal after immortal, which were the best soldiers of Xerxes, King Xerxes, who was the leader of Persia, who promptly went and paid a visit to all of these Muslims. Well, I guess they weren't Muslims there, they were Persians, I guess. And he went and paid a visit to them and said, "Guess what? See this family you have? We're killing all of them. And you're going to have a new family once you beat the Greeks in," they didn't know it was going to be Thermopylae, But they said once you beat the Greeks, you'll be able to lay down new stakes, and you'll have a new woman and a new family shortly thereafter. All you have to do is fight your way through Greece. So that's what happened to a lot of these soldiers. Their families were killed. And that gave them all the more reason to go forward and beat these pesky Caucasians and Greeks and so forth. So what happened was they showed this. They took the regular screen off, and they put on this other screen. Okay, so we have the garbage truck coming. Terrific. I'll have to go left here immediately. Anyways, they went into this weird box screen, and then they showed one by one immortals, which were the soldiers of Xerxes, who were nothing. They were oftentimes they had rattan shields, like nonsense. They were not equipped at all in the modern times at that time, the technology. So what happened was they just showed them being dispatched with a little bit of blood and that kind of stuff. And it took me a while to catch on to it. And that's kind of like what the Matrix is. It's not like, it is kind of like that, because all the stunts that they do and all the special effects, which won awards, by the way, this movie was Oscar nominated if it didn't win the Oscars or whatever it is. It had massive critical acclaim. So it was an okay movie. And it's by the way, I went yesterday over to East Fort Lauderdale, and there was a theater there. I don't know if it was a XXX theater. I couldn't tell because the traffic is so bad. It's so dangerous over there. But I looked. I think it's one of those little final XXX theaters that used to dot the landscape here. And I remember going with my ex-wife, and that was the butt of every joke. If I couldn't perform, or I didn't want to, or whatever, I used to tell my wife I was exhausted, because that was the name of the movie we saw. It was with, what was his name there? That guy they had to bury in a piano case, John Holmes, because he was so well endowed, and that was the name of the movie, Exhausted. I still remember going to see it here at the Pink Pussycat Theater, and I think that's what that place was, but I'm not sure. But you know what they were showing? On the 16th and 17th, it said, or whatever it was, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Talk about movies you would like to forget. My goodness. I remember I was alive at that time in 78. I was in New York City, and that was just, I was in Long Island, and that was just the place you wanted to be, to see the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I never went to see it, but my friend was a real big, I dated a girl briefly that was into it, and she told me how great it was, and how they took toast, and they threw toast all over the theater, etc., all this tomfoolery. But some people are still into this, and I'll bet you there's hundreds of people that show up for that showing. It's probably tonight, because I saw it yesterday. Anyways, to finish out, Matrix, $60 million budget, it made over $400 million, turned into some sort of iconic movie, which is forever enshrined in greatness because of its interesting subject matter and the level of action. And the special effects were unbelievable. But that's why I kind of relate it to the 300. Spartans, the newer version. So that's about it. I'm going to try today to do 20 miles if I can, because I don't work until tomorrow. And yesterday, I don't think I did 2 miles. I really fucked off. And I had to clean up my car, and I've got to do that today too. And at 10 o'clock in the morning, I must retreat to my necessary religious training of the J-dubs, as my subscriber calls it, and listen to how a lot of the people back in the day called Baal, or whatever that god's name was. The people were living under him, and they called Baal or Badal or whatever it is. And of course he didn't answer. He was in the John at the time, according to the comical relief of the member there of the Jehovah's Witnesses, I guess, of the day, that were calling him Jehovah. And they said that as he called him Jehovah, they were spared. And of course Jehovah in proper measure went and slaughtered all of them, and they all lived happily ever after. Folks, I can't make this up. And it's like, that's like my only support means right now. They've helped me a great deal. I hadn't seen them in over 1 year. So I don't like going to church per se, but I'll probably go today at 10 o'clock. So I'll have to keep my walking here to about 3 miles. And I won't be able to walk until later because it is so damn hot. Take care, folks. I will see you later. You can feel free to drop me a line or send me $500,000. I could live on that very easily. And I will see you later for more fun and games. Take care. Thanks for being here. Subscribe to the Mickey Mouse Club, and I will see you later. Bye.